If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please consider hitting the like button. It really does help the video out, even if I don't deserve it because I'm terrible at video games. And if you want to follow me on Twitter for absolutely no reason, the link for that is down below. If you do need any coins, head over to u7buystore.com. Use the code TVM at checkout for a discount. The link is in the description. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to the Brentford save. You are not going to believe the start we have had to the season. I am getting Liverpool title-winning flashbacks from how well we have started. Not just in the league, but in the domestic trophy competitions and in Europe as well. We are the team to beat. Let me show you the run of form. It is, since that penalty defeat to Liverpool, we have gone on an absolute mad one. And it's been touch and go here or there. There are a couple of games where we were quite lucky to come out with the win. So, for example, this Newcastle game in the third round of the Carabao Cup, we were quite lucky to get away with a win. When we beat Liverpool there, we were... I can't remember where I left it with you guys in the video. I can't remember what we saw. Was it beating Man City 5-1? I can't remember. But either way, I played a heavily rotated team against Lask, and we just dispatched them 5-0. Not a problem. Beat Wolves 2-0. Then the game against Norwich was a complete walkover. Again, it could have been 9, honestly. Swansea 2-0. A little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. Again, not heavily rotated, but played a couple of players here or there that I wouldn't normally have played. Curtis Jones and Shaqiri, the two really to speak of. Had to play Kimmich in the middle because Jude Bellingham has been injured. But come out of that one with a 2-0 win. Villarreal 1-0 in the Champions League. We beat Sheffield United 4-1, as you would expect, really. But to be fair, they're not doing too badly. The sending off definitely helped. And most recently, we've just beaten Everton, who I think registered 1 shot on target the entire game in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. We have just drawn West Brom in the next round. They are a championship team in this current moment in time. Man United and Man City play off against each other. That's the only difficult tie. Everyone else has been given quite generous ties, should we say. So we do have a real good chance of winning this trophy this year, which is what I would like to do. I'm going to come back now for the West Ham game. I was originally going to come back for Arsenal Man United, but in real life, obviously that's what you'd come back for. But in FM, things are a little bit different. You can see West Ham are currently 7th in the league. If we look at Man United, they are 10th. And they've only just beaten Spurs to go to 10th. They were originally 14th. Arsenal are a little bit above West Ham, actually. They're in 6th. However, West Ham do have a game in hand. So if we look at the league table, you'll see that we are riding high. 9 wins from 9 games, 23 the goal difference, points 27. Liverpool had that rocky start. They lost the game, they drew 2, they dropped a few points. If we win today against West Ham, which is not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination, we will be 7 points clear with 10 games gone. That is a very good... I mean, obviously, it's the perfect start. You cannot get better than 10 wins from 10. So that would be really nice. Man City, not in the title race as far as I'm concerned. They've lost it. They've just been beaten by Arsenal, so they're out of it. Man United, not in it either. Spurs, struggling. Leicester, don't even get me started on Leicester. What the hell is happening there? If you're wondering where the hell Leicester are in the league, look down. No, look further down. Yep, there they are. They're right at the bottom. They've only won 1 game from 10. They beat Bournemouth, who are the team above them, and they've lost all 9. We are yet to play them as well. Adeyemi, the player we sold to Liverpool for 205 million, is currently top of the tree when it comes to players or goals scored, which isn't really too much of a surprise. The highest average rating in the league, another player that we sold, this time for 96 million, back in season 2, was it? Ivan Toney to Arsenal. He is playing an 8 currently, and no surprise to anyone, Borna Barisic is there. Inter's one and only Chelsea Romelu Lukaku, that's a mouthful, 7.87. Top assists, 2 players, Borna Barisic and Rafinha, which is pretty nice for us. Player of the match, Barisic top with 3, albeit joint with Kurt Zouma. Clean sheets, we're not there. We don't keep many clean sheets anymore. And yellow cards, surprised we're not there, to be honest. Declan Rice is constantly on a yellow. Every time I look at Declan Rice, he has a yellow glow to him. Maybe it's too much Sunny D. Maybe he just likes flying into challenges. I don't know. West Ham next, like I said, and then we'll go and play the Champions League games. I was going to say the Europa League. The Champions League game against Villarreal. If we look at the group, you can see that one win should more or less secure the top spot and would put us through as champions of the group. Really annoying, this game down here, this Atalanta game. We were 3-0 up, we were cruising. And then I took a couple of players off to rest them, obviously. And it just started to fall apart a little bit. They scored 2 very late goals. I wasn't worried that we weren't going to win. It was just annoying that it didn't look as good as it should have. It should have been 3-0. They didn't have a shot on target until Elmer scored to make it 3-1. And then Arthur Cabral scored to make it 3-2. And it just looks a little bit dodgy there. But yeah, we'll come back for that game, definitely. But without any further ado, it's time to play West Ham. This is a big game in terms of the season. So the beautiful thing about the team this year is my ability to rotate is just there. Whatever position I want, I can rotate with a player who is of equal brilliance, more or less. So at the moment we have 2 issues. Jude Bellingham, out injured. He is returning to training tomorrow, thankfully. He's been out for quite a while. And Sesko has just got injured as well. He was injured against Everton. Suffered... What did he... He twisted his ankle, which I know exactly how that feels. I have ankle trouble myself right now. But he's out for 3 weeks. So we don't have a designated replacement striker. Rafinha and Talismagno Magno obviously can play there. And when we signed both of them, they were primarily strikers. Well, maybe not Rafinha, but Talismagno Magno definitely was a striker. But hasn't really played there since the very first season we brought him in, and we were sort of bringing him in every now and again. He's been a winger. So Zaniolo is going to come in on that right-hand side. Talismagno Magno is going to replace Sesko. Nino is going to play on the left-hand side of Magno. Rafinha will go to the left, which, to be fair, is where he's been playing all season anyway. Declan Rice in the middle with Milinkovic-Savic. Gone back to the 4-2-4 to give us a little bit more defensive stability, because we are still good enough going forward. If things are not really working out, then what I tend to do is switch into the more direct, gung-ho, let's get a goal, let's just shoot constantly kind of situation. It's a little bit more intense, a lot more intense. Nianzou, De Ligt in the 2 centre-back roles, Kimmich at right-back and Barisic left-back. It's worked quite well for us all season, as obviously indicated by the league position and the fact that we haven't lost yet, touch wood. I would love to make it 10 out of 10, I really would. I thought I'd come back for this game because this is, even on paper, the team doesn't necessarily look that great. I mean, Jan Sommer in goal is obviously pretty damn nice. The rest of the team it's kind of what you'd expect for the most part. They've not signed that many players, really, but they are doing very well. A couple of youth players coming through as well. So you can see our form, superb. We've actually put together, I think we're 30 plus games unbeaten since last season. Obviously, the game against Liverpool where we lost on penalties doesn't really count because it's not, in the full sort of 90 minutes. But yeah, I think we're on a winning run of maybe 13, 14 games in a row or something stupid, which is a club record. Every time we win a game, we set a new club record. So it's going to be nice to continue that if we can. But also, if we can make it 30 points from 10 games, I mean, we are going to have one hell of a bottle job not to be in the title race come the last sort of 5 or 6 games of the season. If we can remain fit, that's my biggest concern right now. The squad is deep, but it's not deep enough to sustain maybe 3 or 4 serious injuries. We've had 1 or 2 at the same time. Any more than that, we might have started to struggle a little bit. But here we go. Sommer with a goal kick. Our highlights tend to start like this, without possession. And then all of a sudden, we'll pounce, nick the ball like that, and then we just spring it on them. Ball over the top. Talismagno Magno in, and it's a goal. The referee doesn't want to know we're 1-0 up in 7 minutes. That is what we do to teams. We are dangerous. They have the ball, they think they're safe, and then one of our players nips in there, nicks it away from them, plays a killer ball around the back, because that's what this formation does. This formation isn't built for possession. It's got a lot more of a direct passing mentality about it, so they'll look for the runner of one of the strikers, the wingers that is, and they'll look to curl it round the outside of the back line. I'm playing 2D, aren't I? I do apologise. Sideline, there we go. The reason I was doing that, I was rendering, and my PC doesn't like rendering and playing Football Manager at the same time, as you can imagine. So, yeah, it was in 2D. My bad. Here we go then. So, we've lost the ball this time, but we've nicked it back with Joshua Kimmich. Zaniolo, oh, that is a brilliant little flick from Zaniolo to Rafinha, but he can't make it count with a shot. Keeper picks it up. The Champions League game should be a foregone conclusion. It wasn't a very easy game against Villarreal last time. I think we're home this time, though, which does help an awful lot. But also, we are probably through anyway. It's going to take a minor miracle for us not to go through, even if we lose all of our games. Ball played over to Firmino is not the best, but he does manage to nick it back again. Rafinha is going to pounce on that, and he can take it down. Put a ball in towards Zaniolo, who's about 9'6". Can't quite get the head away, though. Kimmich on this right-hand side has better crossing than Rafinha. There it is. And Zaniolo needs to work on that heading because that should have been a goal. Let's praise the boys for being 1-0 up. They are not a fan of that. Why are they not a fan? 1-0 up. They've got such high standards. They think how we should be 4-0 up, boss. Rafinha with the ball in. Zaniolo took my advice. He's had a word with himself, and there's the goal. We're not built for that necessarily, crossing, but we can do it. And having Zaniolo on that right-hand side as an inverted winger coming inside with players like Barisic and Rafinha on that left-hand side, able to put balls into the box like that on a plate. And when you're that tall, doesn't matter if your heading's naturally good or not, you will meet an awful lot of that ball in the air. So 2-0 up against West Ham, and this is a team that are very capable of challenging for top 4. But as you can see, not that I'm trying to jinx us, but as you can see, we are so strong. Zaniolo this time to return the favour, and Firmino's there, not built for it, he said, and that's all we're doing is crossing. 3-0 in 30 minutes, and I would argue that is game over. I mean, I would argue that. I'm not going to say that that's the case. Firmino actually started the move, played out to Zaniolo, great ball. Zaniolo's waiting and waiting and waiting, takes it to the byline. It's a good ball in, and Firmino has Freddie Ljungberg that right into the top corner. Freddie Ljungberg used to make those amazing runs really late. He'd start the move and play it out wide, and he'd just dart into the centre, and he'd always be in the right place. What a player to watch he was in his prime for Arsenal. Not an Arsenal fan, just his movement was insane. Anyway, back to, I was going to say reality, it's not really, but back to the moment at hand here. 3-0 up. And at this point in games, because we've been in this situation many a time this season already, this situation I let it run maybe 10 minutes, and then I start taking off players that we're going to need for the next game. In this instance, it's a Champions League game that doesn't really mean an awful lot to me. So might not really take that many off. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic has absolutely launched it into the top corner. What a goal that is. This is the best team I think I've managed since, I'm trying to think, Championship Manager. I can't remember what year it was. 2002? Does that sound right? Maybe. I had Fernando Torres and Zlatan Ibrahimovic up front with Aston Villa in that save. And we tore the league and Europe apart season after season after season. For about 5 or 6 years, we were winning the double. It was so good. It was the best team I've ever assembled. And this is up there. On paper, it looks good, but it doesn't look amazing. But when it plays, it is outrageous. Time to take off Rafinha because he's looking a little bit on the tired side. I'm going to bring on Xherdan Shaqiri, who in the press blamed me for the reason he was dropped by Switzerland. Not the fact that he's, 34 and on the decline. No, nothing to do with that. It's my fault, apparently, because I wasn't playing him enough. He was injured, by the way, at the time, which doesn't help. Can we do anything else? I kind of need to protect Firmino, if I'm honest, because he's our only designated striker. I might bring on Ignacio Diaz, switch, believe it or not, into the more attacking formation, and move Diaz into that shadow striker role. I'm going to do this, actually. I trust Diaz more on the left than I do Zaniolo. I trust Diaz more on the left than I do as a central player. So we're going to do that, and I'm just going to move on. I know I've gone into a more attacking formation at 4-0 up. Really, do you need to be pressing as high up the field as we are? Probably not. If we do concede, I might consider switching it back, but I don't have another striker. So yeah, kind of have to move. I might just go back into the other system and just move someone down as the shadow striker, but we'll see what happens. Kimmich has fallen asleep. Suarez is taking it. Soucek brings the ball forward, pops it in, and they scored. Abel Ruiz makes it 4-1. Let me go back, switch back into this, move Zaniolo down. There we go. And then put him as a shadow striker. That's better. We need to be a little bit less intense, a little bit less open at the back. And hopefully not concede silly goals like that. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that goal. I just feel like they shouldn't have been in that. Shouldn't have had that opportunity. De Ligt needs to get a little bit further forward. It's a good finish though, to be fair. I really hope that I've not done an Atalanta here and all of a sudden we give away like 2 or 3. I'm not worried we're going to lose or draw, but if we give away like 2 goals or something, all of a sudden it looks a lot worse than it was. And that's what we've been doing. We've been falling asleep, for lack of a better word. Let's just praise them, even though they've just conceded. They don't like encouragement when they're winning. But Zaniolo plays it back to Rice. Barisic, just knocking it about. Just waiting for that gap to open up. Here's Diaz. Hasn't played an awful lot of football this season compared to last season. Cleared by West Ham all the way back to Nianzou, who's basically left it for the goalkeeper. Gives it back to Nianzou. Little touch for Livakovic. Nianzou powers forward. Waiting for the gap. Diaz could have made a run then. Didn't. This is a very long-winded, weird highlight. Oh, we had runners over. There's the runner. There's Barisic. Good ball in. And Magno makes it 5-1. How dare you score against us? That's what you get. It's so patient. And moving into that more attacking mentality when you're winning, it doesn't make an awful lot of sense. The only reason I did it was because I didn't have another striker. I should have just from the beginning. Look at Rice's vision compared to Diaz though. Diaz had 2 opportunities to play that ball to the overlapping Barisic, and he didn't. He went backwards instead. It was a Jordan Henderson kind of move, and Declan Rice spotted him in the end. We've got one more sub to make. I'm a stickler for subs. Feel like I always need to make them. Zaniolo or Barisic to come off? I'm thinking Zaniolo, because I do have adequate cover for that left back. I don't really have too many options when it comes to the position that Zaniolo is playing. In fact, Curtis Jones is the only option I have. And can Shaqiri play centre attacking midfield? No. Diaz can. I don't like him there necessarily because his finishing is awful, but I'll play him there anyway. Seeing as how we have 5-1 up, we don't necessarily need him to score. We have absolutely bossed this game. I am a big fan of it. I mean, to be fair, they've had nearly 60% of the possession, but it's not 9/10 of the law anymore, apparently. We just need to be able to counter. That is modern day football. If they score here, I will be disappointed. It's not going to mean anything, but 5-1 looks far better than 5-2. Ball played out to the edge. Soucek with an effort. Goalkeeper let it run. Whether he couldn't be bothered or he knew it was going wide, I don't know. Corner. Barisic whips it in. And we don't need another goal, if I'm honest. We could just let the clock run down. They have a corner. Can they make it 5-2? Bowen with it. I can't believe he's still there, if I'm honest. I thought someone would have bought him by now. Bowen plays it back in, and it's a goal. It's Thomas Soucek, who I also can't believe is there, by the way. He makes it 5-2. It's a little bit annoying, like I said earlier. Didn't really want to concede there, if I'm honest. But what can you do? Bowen with just a hit and hope cross, really, towards a cluster of West Ham bodies, and they make it 5-2. But that is quite an impressive game. A lot less possession. Decent XG, not amazing, but decent. 10 shots on target, and we've scored 5 when we were only expected 1.8, which is pretty nice. That will do wonders for confidence for me in general, really. 7 points clear of Liverpool, 8 points clear of Villa, and 10 points clear of Chelsea. Everton are actually 1 game in hand away from going up to second place, level on points with Liverpool, albeit behind them on goal difference, but still, Everton are definitely a team to watch, although we've beaten them 3-0, so they're not really a threat in my opinion, because they did play a strong team in the Cup, but they've just beaten Southampton, so they do indeed go joint second. Heavy rotation for the game against Villarreal. We are home, so I do take that into account, but also we have 9 points. We should theoretically be through, regardless of what happens here. And as long as we beat Lask, we'll be fine. And we beat them 5-0 with a heavily rotated team last time, so not that bothered. Bellingham is back, although he is only really available for 60 minutes, so he'll probably make his way onto the field sometime in the second half. Ben Godfrey has come to me and complained about the lack of first-team football, so he comes in. Osifo we need to keep sweet as well, so he also comes in. To be fair, the last time those two played was against Everton, and they played very well, so I'm happy to bring them in. Cancelo comes in instead of Kimmich, and Gallen, to make a completely new back line, comes in instead of Barisic. The two midfielders, Rice and Milinkovic-Savic, are a constant at the moment because, like I said, Bellingham is only just coming back. Kimmich needs a break, so he can't play there. The only other player we have who can play central midfield, apart from Curtis Jones, who is in the team anyway, is Brozovic, who has also complained recently about the lack of first-team football. I mean, on paper, there is absolutely nothing wrong with him at all. He's actually a very good player. I just don't have any confidence in him, and I don't know why. It's just ingrained in me that he's not good enough, and I'm not sure why that is, but it is what it is. Jones comes in on the left, Shaqiri on the right. I'm not 100% convinced by Curtis Jones, but Shaqiri I've got faith in. He's done very well for me this season. Rafinha and Talisman Magno, the two players who have been playing as wingers for the best part of 3 seasons, are now both strikers in this setup. Firmino, I'm going to give a little break to, because he's our only designated striker right now. So I feel like maybe it's a good idea, considering we don't need to win this game. It would be a nice idea to just rest him. It's not a weak team, to be fair. It is still a very strong team. I'm not sure of what Villarreal are going to put out, though. Gerard Moreno is still alive and up front. Ndombele is in the midfield. Bentancur is there as well. Juan Foyth, no idea. Rulli is still in goal. Who do they have on the bench? Divock Origi, of course. He actually played in the last game. Didn't do an awful lot, if I'm honest, and that's probably why he's on the bench for this one. And there we are. Aguilar, I think the right back, is there on the bench as well. We're not going to play I am going to play the full game, but we're going to skip through it in terms of highlights because realistically, it's not that important. Highlight then, we've stolen the ball with Xherdan Shaqiri. Talisman Magno has it. This is what we do, like I said in the last game. We're 5 minutes further on than we were in that game, but we've nicked the ball. We didn't really break as fast as I perhaps would have liked, but we do still have possession. Here is Jones. Wait for it. No, he goes back to Rice. Ball over the top to the overlapping Yavi Gallen. Can he put a good ball in? He can. Talisman Magno's there. 1-0. It's taken us 7 minutes longer than it did against West Ham, but I wouldn't say it's a carbon copy, but it's in the same fashion. You know, we steal the ball, having not had that much possession. We've been a little bit more patient with it, but it's very similar to one of the goals we scored with. Rice plays the ball round, this time to Gallen, not Barisic, and Talisman Magno is in the middle to put that home. It's what Sesko's been doing all season, and now that he's injured, Talisman Magno has taken over from him, but that puts us in a very strong position. Another highlight here where we're going to start from the back. I'm not a massive fan of when we do start highlights with possession anymore because we tend to do things like that. We've given it away. Pedraza brings it forward to Jeremy. There's Coquelin's ball over to Koulibaly and he's blazed it wide. He really should have done better with it. He's gone for the wrong side in my opinion. And Ndombele has gone off injured, which could play into our hands. We have a corner with Xherdan Shaqiri, not the usual delivery, but Rafinha has found himself with an open goal and it's an easy tap in. Xherdan Shaqiri will get the assist, so I don't think it touched anyone on the way through. It just sort of flew through to him. We'll have a look at the replay. And it goes... it does take a touch from either Gerard Moreno or Osifo. I can't quite decide who it was. But it does go down as a... it goes down as an Osifo assist, not Xherdan Shaqiri as first thought. So there was a touch in there. We're 2-0 up just before the break. Shaqiri just taps it forward to Magno. Look at the space in the middle, and Magno doesn't want to know. That is terrible football. I mean, whether he's just shut off because we're 2-0 up or whether he just didn't have the vision, I'm not sure. But there was, I think Rafinha in the middle was just completely open. Shaqiri's ball into Magno just wide. He looked offside anyway, to be fair. We have a free kick deep in... Well, I'll say deep in their own half. I suppose it's just inside their half. My bad. Milinkovic-Savic goes all the way around the outside. A lot of room to move there. Back to Godfrey, who's the centre-back, of course. Cancelo and Godfrey have switched roles. There's Declan Rice with a ball out to Curtis Jones, who's been very quiet in this game. There's Rafinha, who... Oh, my God, that is outrageous. Goes for goal. Curtis Jones with the assist, if you can call it that. That is one hell of a finish from Rafinha. I don't know how many of you remember, probably a lot of you. I was going to sell Rafinha like 6 months after we bought him. he just wasn't really fitting into the plans, and he's been so good since. I don't know whether maybe he took note of it and was like, right, I need to buck up my ideas. But it wasn't even that he was playing bad. I just didn't really get on with him too well. But he's been absolutely fantastic. In this game in particular, he's got 2 goals. So another highlight with 13 minutes to go. Jude Bellingham and Joshua Kimmich have both come on, as has Diaz. We have a issue. What the hell was that? Ball played forward to Divock Origi, who's just come on for Gerard Moreno. They've lost the ball. We have it again. João Cancelo with the ball over the top to Rafinha for the hat-trick. Goes round the goalkeeper. Oh, it's cultured. What composure from Rafinha. Really good goal from him to round off. Could even be his first hat-trick. I don't know, maybe that's a stretch, I'm not sure. But João Cancelo with a ball of dreams over the top. And the composure to not shoot first time from Rafinha is fantastic. And in a game that we heavily rotated, played 2, not makeshift strikers, but, you know, not your regular starters for being in that position. They've got 4 goals between them, and we've dispatched Villarreal as if it's a training session. Ball over the top again. Comes back down to Koulibaly this time. This is where we start to drop, though. This time of the game, and players are a little bit on the tired side. Not that we play an intense system anymore with this 4-2-4. It's a lot less demanding on stamina and stuff. Oh, Divock Origi has scored. Not that I'm sad that he has scored, it's just the fact that we've conceded in general. We always do it. We batter teams 3-4, 5-0, doesn't make a difference. And then 5-10 minutes before the end, you saw it against West Ham. We just drop heads and they score goals. Livakovic has done really poorly there. It was straight at him. He got 2 hands to it and he still couldn't keep it out. And that should be, ref played 3 minutes over the allotted time there and they were 4-1 down. What was the point? But there we go. 2 wins back-to-back for this episode, which might even be the first time that we've done that. And we've done them both with ease as well. I honestly feel like I'm cheating at the moment with this team. I've assembled something phenomenal. But we are top of the group on 12 points. We can still be caught by Atalanta, of course we can. But Lask, they haven't won a game. They haven't even got a point in any of the games that they've played so far. We beat them 5-0 when we weren't even trying. It should be a foregone conclusion, considering we were away from home in the first game as well. So when we play them at home in the second game, we should be able to at least beat them 1-0. Not that I'm, taking them too lightly or anything like that. No disrespect, but we should beat them, which means we will finish top of the group. So we're through regardless. But we'll see what happens. Qualify for the first knockout round. Happy days. The draw for that is some way off, of course. Curtis Jones is only out for 1 to 2 days with a bruised ankle. We've been given even more money. The amount of money we've been given recently for competitions is a little bit fantastic, actually. We're down to 71 million in the overall balance because, of course, we have been spending money. We're actually in profit for the first time in a long time, but we're over the wage. We've got 18 million. I could just adjust that, couldn't I? Let's just do that. Doesn't bring us up to code. Do that. So, £1,000. Jeez. Do that. There we go. Actually, never mind. Committed spending is way above. I tell you what, we don't even need the money. Let's just do that. Fine. Screw it. So, we're now within our wage budget confines. We're down to 7.2 million. But I do envisage Brozovic going somewhere in the January window. I wouldn't be surprised if Godfrey went somewhere as well. So we play Arsenal and Man United next. Like I said, I was originally going to come back for that, but I think West Ham was actually the more challenging game. I say that. We'll probably lose to Arsenal and Man United, but it kind of meant more in the league. It's a little bit more important, and I thought I'd just play the Champions League game just to see us through the group. And then there we are. So don't play the quarter-final until the 26th of December. We are still quite early on in the season, even though we've had such a good start. So I think I'm going to play on a fair bit, actually, before we come back. I might come back for... I don't know what I'm going to come back for. There's a lot of weaker teams around this West Brom game, because Chelsea might be a big game by then, but I'm not sure. When do we play Liverpool? Liverpool is a huge game. 24th of January. Definitely going to come back for those two. So maybe come back for Chelsea Leeds, and then come back for Liverpool Man City back at the back end of January. That could be a good idea, and we'll have a very, very good idea of what is happening with regards to the league by then, and of course whether we make it through that against West Brom. But yeah, we're going to come back for Chelsea, I think, on the 13th of December. So until then, wish me luck. It has been an absolutely sensational start to the season. Couldn't have been happier. Can we continue it? Do you think we're going to win the league this season? That's the question. Let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and until the next time, goodbye.